So Baby Lock and Brother also just released a new 6-needle machine. Let's talk about it. So Baby Lock just released the Array, which is a minor but important upgrade to the Intrepid. The Array is a 6-needle, which is a multi-needle, free arm embroidery only machine that has some cool features like a laser guide beam and crosshairs, not just a laser, but crosshairs, and built-in embroidery software and some fun stuff like that. Baby Lock and Brother both have some of the best user interface to embroidery machines. It's certainly Jordan and I's favorite as far as embroidery machines uh, on the consumer and enthusiast level. It's super easy to use, and still, for some reason, it's actually really hard to recommend this 6-needle machine. So let's get into it. Give it. Yeah, I'm doing a great job, guys. I'm not Jordan, and I'm talking about sewing machines and stuff. Let's talk about a free arm. Free arm is going to be one of the main reasons you consider a multi-needle machine because it makes it so much easier to do things like onesies, hats, bags, backpacks, baseballs, so much stuff. Now, with this type of machine, you do typically need a hat hoop to allow you to do that. Hat hoops are going to be rather expensive and to come at a premium and cost you money. And it's also typically going to be separate from the cost of these already somewhat expensive machines, which kind of limits the amount of demographics that would be interested in getting a 6-needle, which is why I have a hard time recommending it, because the two people that are going to be interested in this machine are enthusiasts who have the money to spend over $10,000 on their hobby, no problem, and then small businesses who want to produce a solid product very quickly. Those are the two main people that would be interested in a multi-needle machine, and this fits pretty much in the middle of where multi-needle machines are. And because of that, and because of the price range it is, there just happens to be some better options for each of those demographics. Okay, so the first reason is this is only really a minor upgrade to the previous version of this machine. So if you already have this machine, there's not really a good reason to upgrade. It's cool. They have stuff like Wi-Fi, which is super awesome to have a Wi-Fi on a device that is technology based. Um, they're spending $10,000+, $13,000 potentially on. It's cool that it has Wi-Fi that you don't have to plug a USB in to transfer designs over. That's neat. I kind of would have expected that several years ago. But they have it now in 2021. They have Wi-Fi on your expensive technology device. Yay for them. There's also a couple of cool upgrades as far as more fonts, which you would use both as an enthusiast and small business. More designs that you probably aren't going to use for either of those two demographics. And a couple other neat features like echo stitching, which is super niche. It's cool, but super niche. So, for small businesses looking to get a new multi-needle machine, I have a hard time recommending this. Here's why. Baby Like interface is great. It's user friendly. It's not necessarily limiting, but professionals are going to be using digitizing software and then transferring your design over. You're paying for a feature that you wouldn't necessarily use as a small business. The other thing is the Tajima Juki Sai exist for essentially the same price. I don't know what the Array is going to be priced at, but the Intrepid was priced basically exactly the same as the Tajima Sai at around $13,000. So let's just say, for all intents and purposes, that they're going to be the same price. I will say that the Sai typically goes on sale cheaper than the Intrepid did, or the Array potentially could be. And like I said, I used to sell a lot of the Intrepids. That is until the Sai came out. The Sai, on paper, might not look that attractive. The Array and the Intrepid had 1,000 stitches per minute. The Tajima Sai has 800. The thing is, if you were to stitch something out on both of these machines, the Sai would win pretty much every time. The Sai ramps up to that and stays at the max speed or stitches per minute much more consistently than the Baby Locks or Brothers do, even with their great interfaces. The Tajima is an industrial brand that partnered with Juki, which does industrial and consumer grade sewing machines, to make a semi-industrial, geared for small businesses device that is going to be basically the same price as this machine and will outperform it. As a small business, you're looking at time. Time is money. If you're getting a faster machine for the same price or even cheaper, probably should go with that. It's designed for small businesses. It's designed for the workflow of people that are used to working with Tajimas. It's going to be much easier to move into a multi-head machine, which are tens of thousands of dollars, because Tajima makes them. The workflow that you would have at a Tajima is more of a serious workflow. It's easier to have a workflow that based off of a professional, which by the way, it comes with a digitizing software for your computer. It's easier to transfer that stuff over and have a workflow based off of that than it is to constantly trying to design something inside the Baby Lock or Brother machine. Now, you can do the same thing. You can bring your design over. It's not really going to be that much of an issue. But at the end of the day, you're going to have a faster embroidery machine dealing with the Tajima, and that alone is going to take my recommendation for this price for the 6-needle or mid-tier multi-needle sewing machines. Hey guys, future Jared here. Just wanted to clarify that Tajima Juki Sai is actually 8 needles, which further my points on it being a faster machine, because having the additional 2 needles means that you're going to have most of your primary colors doing your embroidery stitches on the machine basically at all times. So yeah, so it's not for small businesses. By the way, we are going to have another video diving into the Tajima Sai to talk about more of its features and why we recommend that for this price range from like $10,000 to $13,000 multi-needle. So if you like that and you want to learn more about this sort of thing, or just like us, subscribe and follow us. By the way, if you're interested in getting some multi-needles, we have some affiliate links below for the Tajima Sai, which is a pretty highly recommended machine from us. So you can check that out below and do some comparison on the website. However, we do highly recommend, especially for machines of this caliber, to go to a local store and stitch one out. If you can't go to a local store and you like us, it helps us out to use the links below and buy online. But for this sort of thing, if you can, go use the machine. Buy from someone you like. Buy from someone, especially as a small business, if you have someone local that can repair it, do that. That's going to be super helpful to have someone local that can repair your machine and is comfortable with potentially training you on how to use the machine. All that stuff is super important. If you don't have someone local, we'll be happy to use our links and support the channel and whatnot. So we plan to do a video on the Tajima Sai. Subscribe so you don't miss that out, and like the video while you're at it. That brings me to the other demographic of people that buy multi-needle machines, which are enthusiasts. I'm a tech nerd. I'm very familiar with the term enthusiast. There's enthusiast grade technology for this industry. Enthusiasts are the type of people that are buying these types of multi-needle machines. Their main goal is to get the best of something, or to get something that is super easy to use and saves them time, and they enjoy using that sort of thing. And Baby Lock and Brother both do an incredible job with their embroidery experience across the board on their domestic machines, on their multi-needle free arm machines. They do a great job with their interface. There's some great companies out there that have a harder to use embroidery interface that it takes away from the experience, because you have to memorize what all the buttons mean as opposed to just stitch or whatever. There's words on the Baby Lock interface that are much easier to remember to use. So it is easier to use, and enthusiasts want the best of something. They want it easier to use. They want that experience. And that's also why I can't recommend the Array based on my knowledge of the industry, because, yeah, 10 needles are a thing. The Baby Lock Valiant series is a 10 needle, so it was 4 extra needles embroidery machine for several $1,000s more, but it also comes with a camera system to help do some pretty insane things, and a bigger hoop size, and an app that you can get that helps you monitor your machine from a different room. It's kind of designed for enthusiasts. So if you're an enthusiast and money's not an issue and you're already spending 13 grand on a machine, you could spend a few extra grand and get an easier to use machine with some crazy stuff like a camera on there that can do stuff like perfectly align your design, and just some pretty crazy like photo digitizing things that are baked into the machine that's super fun to use and play with and is great. So I have a hard time recommending cheaper machines to people that aren't doing it for the money, because if you can afford a little bit more, or have a way better time. As it is what it is. So I know there might be enthusiasts that are like, no, I want to spend 15 grand. I know there, I know there might be enthusiasts that have the budget for 13 or 10 grand and don't have the budget for 15, 20 grand. But I have a hard time thinking that this Array is going to be a specific fit for someone where another machine might be better. So, are you in the market for a multi-needle machine? So, are you in the market for a multi-needle machine, and are you an enthusiast or a small business, or do you fit in neither of those? Let us know. If you have any questions, comment down below. If you like this kind of thing, please like the video, subscribe for more content like this. We're trying to put out a lot more sewing machine based type stuff because we've had so many questions this past year on what our recommendation for machines, and we want to help you guys make the best choices for your incredible hobbies, the embroidery, sewing, quilting, all of that stuff. We want to help. So this is how we're going to do it, and you can help us simply by subscribing, liking, and sharing with your friends. So let us know what you think, and have a great rest of your day.